welcome to Fishing Squad. Well, we're just at Port Coleman tonight. We're on first day, like bank holiday weekend. We just fancied coming out for a bit of fishing, so I'm gonna nick some fish hopefully. Got some bait that I bought yesterday. I got some herring and some octopus from Morrison's. Just doing a simple wrap with a bit of octopus and herring. So we'll get that on the trace. Right, so I've got a simple pulley rig, and I mean simple. It's only got one swivel on it. I've just tied some simple overhand knots for stopper, like stopper knots basically. They're going to be, they're act as like the swivels you'd use, because it's a mixed ground mark here, but for dogfish I don't think you need much else. It's the first time I've ever done a rig like this. You see there's just stopper knots with beads to stop it from. Could be risky if you've got something big. It's not what I'd normally do, but it's simple fishing. Got a 3.0, it's like a Aberdeen style Electronics Pro, and I've got a, I think it's a 4.0 circle at the back of it. It's that wrap I'm just going to put on here. Get it so the hook sticks out, the bottom hook sticks out. Whip it on. I mean, this is just on a small scale tonight. We're just targeting dogfish or anything that's out there basically. I mean, I'm going to be casting it out and baiting it up because obviously Nick's not had much experience of doing this, and with a 6-ounce lead it's a bit risky. You know, just in case you crack off, but she's not used to casting that sort of weight, so she'll be reeling it in if there's a fish on it. Some people, when they're doing this, they say, how do you stop that hook bending? Some people say put a lot of elastic round this bit here, you know, where the bend of the hook. I find if you just go around the hook on either side, it seems to hold. A bit of both really. And then it does seem to hold quite well. But it looks like a dogfish bait if I've ever seen one, that, so I'm just going to get the second hook down. Just go around the line twice. It's a 70-pound rig right through. In fact, it's 80, sorry. Well, actually, strangely, we'll just call it 80. It's Fladden. It's a Fladden line. Obviously, it's not like the best quality line. But basically, we'll just send that out like that. Might put a bit of elastic round this way there. I'll put a bit of elastic around that circle so it sits nice. It seems to have twisted for some reason. But that's basically what we're sending out. So I'm going to send that out and then we'll get on with it. Fish bite. Lift. Pump and wind, yeah? That nicks into a doggy, I think. Decent bite. Just keep that rod up in air, yeah. Nice. Keep nice to 10. Yeah. It's definitely a doggy. He's on, definitely. There's no doubt about that. Get in. He'll be easily hooked on that because it's a 3.0 hook and that and circle. Hopefully he's hooked on the circle. Just keep the pressure on him, that's it. You don't need to go mad. You're doing well. This is still on. Let's come forward, let's have a look.
It's a crab.
It's not a crab. Does it come off? Oh, it come off. Oh, sugar. Definitely a fish, that. Oh dear. It's got another one. Nice one. It was delicately hooked on the circle hook. As you can see, I will say with circle hooks, it's definitely better for fish care. He dropped off actually when we were trying to unhook him. But what you saw with me was I struck quite aggressively. And I told Nick to lift into him, and hers were better up than mine. So it's a benefit of circle hook. So we're just going to knock camera off and not get a picture. Some footage of it. So what I mean about they're not really fast swimmers either, guys. I don't know if you can still see them because it's about gone, hasn't it? Yeah, but nice one. Nice doggy, that one. Next bait up after the one we lost. She had a bite almost instantly, and that's quite a big dogfish. So we're gonna get him hooked and have a picture with him, and then we'll put him back. I think it's a him. Is it him? Yeah, right. But he's hooked on both hooks, I think, near enough. He's swallowed the Aberdeen quite deep, but we'll get that out, no problem. Well, it's simple fishing, you know, guys. It's not everyone's cup of tea catching dogfish. But the thing about it is, give me a second, just something Roger start. The thing about it is, they can't do much fishing over the past sort of few months. We don't have much time tonight. We wanted to get a bend in the rod. So, both Coleman's a good place to get a bend in the rod. There's other species here. And I'd say, since this algae bloom's gone, we haven't had much rain. We're getting some rain now for the next 24 hours. But anyway, like this will fish well for most species. Off here you can get flounders, you can get bass, you can get pollock, you can get wrasse, dogfish obviously. And you can fish it in darkness. I know people have had Bull Huss. I know people have had tope just round the corner on the point. What else can you get? When that storm Eunice was here, I found some egg pastes of rays washed up, but I've never had a ray here, so I can't comment on that. But in darkness it fishes well. There's rockling as well off here, that other species. So that's the last bait up. We'll go for 2 fish each if we can, and then go back and have a beer. Right, so just reeled the last bait up in. That's it. 3 fish, we lost 1. Not a bad little session. It's good just for Nick to get a bit of practice with reeling in decent fish, because he wants to have a go catching something big at the end of the year. She's never really done much ledgering, so other than carp fishing. Just point on rig, I did have to put a swivel on after I lost that first fish because it twisted up. So don't use what I said at the start. I've seen it on someone's YouTube channel when we're fishing quite simply on rough ground. I've left the knot in the other end of it with my lead on it there, but yeah. Circle up worked a couple of times. Probably could have done with using a slightly bigger one, but it worked. You know, what time is it now? Let's have a look. We come here at 10 to 6. It's now 20 past 7. We've had 5 bait ups. 4 produced nearly. One of them, first bait up should have produced the fish. It dropped off. Then we had 3 bait ups of successive fish. I didn't omen on this one for some reason. I think they might have gone. So it's not a bad little session. That first dogfish Nick had were beastie. So I'm quite happy with a little session, like I say. Let's go back and have a beer. So until next time, we'll see you later. Seagulls coming back. It's guiding to one side, is it a doggy? Is it something else? It's swimming to one side, isn't it? Where is the doggy? Yeah.
1-1.
Took both hooks this time. Well, again, both hooks was a. We'll get him up, then we'll have a picture with him. Right, good morning. So, second session, I guess. Last night's one wasn't really planning on being at Bull Huss one. But having posted online the picture of a dogfish, what I'm 100% certain is a dogfish, might cause a bit of a debate, which is all good. My opinion is it's a dogfish. So it's out to our opinion, so that's fine. This morning we're just on the rock mark that I finished on the last video. Trying for Bull Huss. Going to put 2 rods out. Brought another rod down so I've got some early mackerel. I mean, on the north side of the peninsula, the algae bloom seems to have cleared up. But here on the south side, I don't think it has just yet. But I might have a go just to see if there's any about. I'll just have 20 casts or something. There's no point in bringing gear down and not using it. So I'll just show you what I've got on my rigs as far as bait and rig choice, etc. Got an up and over one rig and a pulley pennel rig on the other one. The pulley pennel rig's a tope rig with quite a big bait on. The up and over rig is just standard up and over. It's got a decent bite trace on it, 3 foot bite trace, 2 foot body. squid and mackerel cocktails, small one on up and over, and I've got a big bait. I'll show you anyway. The baits that I've gone with, I've got a wire trace with half a mackerel on, got a 10-0 circle on back, 8-0 J-hook on bottom, standard pulley rig. And on this rig, it's an up and over rig, small 6-0 with a 6-0 circle behind. I think it's a 6-0, might be an 8-0 circle, I'm not sure. It's a catfish hook actually, that one, I think. It's not quite a circle, is it, by the looks of it? It's just a small squid mackerel wrap. Just aim to get off at mark. Sometimes, to be honest with you, I've caught more Bull Huss on a bait that size than that size. Like I've said before in part one, you know, sometimes I don't always prefer a big bait. I've had them sit gobies up, like suckerfish type things, butterfish. You know, they're all sort of that size rather than that size. But they'll take either, so it just depends on the day what preference is, or if the fish swims past which particular bait, I guess. So we'll get them banged out and see if we can get out. It's both rods out. Just another point, putting a tote rig on one rod with big bait, if you do hook into something half decent, an early tote, you're going to get it out, aren't you? So, well worth it. If it happens, obviously. I'm just looking at the water clouds. It doesn't actually look as bad as I thought. It isn't great, but I do think it's clearing for feathers, so I'm going to put feathers on in a minute. I'm going to put the feathers on. Let's just see if there's any early mackerel. I mean, I'm doing a night session tonight, like into early hours of bank holiday Monday morning. So, bit of extra fresh bait would go down nice. Or some mackerel for breakfast. Earliest I've caught them on the Limb Peninsula is the 1st of May. So, it's the 1st of May today. Might as well have a go. These on, I mean, I haven't got a price on that. They're about £1.45 each. Just a bit better quality than like your Fladden. Or your, I don't even think, I think they're a bit better than Sea-Tech as well, to be honest with you. You know, you don't want to spend a lot of money on feathers. Usually if I have a good session on mackerel, just one use, and that's it. Or a couple of uses, you know, a couple of sessions, that's it. So, let's have a go see if there's any about. The other thing is, it's mounted, I'm putting it on a pen tidal, it's 14 foot. It punches out a bit quicker than just using a lightweight rod. I've had a couple of chats with people lately, and they're saying how hard work it is with a beach cast. I fully agree. I tried with a carp rod last month, spinning, and it was like, just felt like you didn't have anything in your arms. It is hard work with a beach caster, but once some mackerel, I can punch these out further than what I can with a spinning rod, carp rod sort of thing. We don't know how many, I don't think there'll be many mackerel about, if there's any here yet. So let's try and cover as much water as we can, basically. Just got stuck, but this is the difference with braid to mono. But it's the first time this has happened to me, but I've spoke to people. When you get stuck in the kelp, it can pull stalks of kelp off. So, but you get your gear back. That's the advantage of braid. So prior to reeling in that kelp stalk, on the previous bait up before that, I did have a bite. It took a bit off the ratchet. Maybe it was just a dogfish. There was nothing there when I struck into it. What else? I had 20 casts with the feathers. Not confident about that, so I've knocked that on the head for now. It seems a lot to deal when you've got two rods out on the bottom. So I've just rebaited both my bottom rods and just waiting for a bite now. Oh, just another thing I forgot to say. We're fishing the incoming tide. Low tide was about 4:10 in the morning. It's now 7:20, so it's well on its way in. Hopefully we'll get the old Huss out. I believe Bull Huss will be good down nicely this morning. I'm just getting about right hand rod potentially. Not sure. Yeah, but that with braid, you don't want to be leaving stuff on the bottom, do you? You know, your gear, you want to be getting it back. I've got leaders on, oh, I'm getting a bite, judgery bite now. I don't know if it's a doggy or what. Looks like a doggy. We'll let it develop a little bit. It's got a 6-0 on it. It's a good bite, like. Let's see if I can spin your watch. Right hand rod. Don't worry, then bites didn't materialise into anything. I got a bite on the other rod as well at the same time. The first rod that we're going on the right hand side, it's I've just reeled another stoker kelp, and the other rod just left it a bit because it's got a big bait on. Didn't materialise into anything. I mean, this morning we've been very fortunate with the weather. The rainfall hadn't fell how it was forecast, but it's just starting to pick up now, the rainfall. It's got 2 hours left, so hopefully it don't rain too much. Just a couple of bits. I always like to buy a couple of new bits for when I come through sea fishing. I've got a new rucksack this time. On this occasion I've got some neoprene boots, so I'll look at them now. This rucksack, it's Mad Carp. I think it's made by Dam. It's a nice rucksack. Got a bit of a, nice, closes it up nice on the top there. You can put plenty in it. I like these handles because when you're just moving backwards and forwards up and down the rocks, depending on what the tide's doing, quite easy to carry. You need a rucksack when you're rock fishing. You don't want to be fishing with beach boxes and stuff because they just get in the way when you're climbing. You need like it affects your balance having like anything that goes over your shoulder. Anything with a shoulder strap on. So yeah, I've always found a rucksack perfect for rock fishing. And I've got some neoprene boots here. I can't remember the make of them. I bought them from Aldi. They're £25. You need boots that've got like kind of like a softness to them when you touch them like that. Softish soles for rock fishing. I'll spin you around. Softish soles for rock fishing. Because if you're having to step over gullies and stuff like that, they want to have be able to take a bit of shock absorbance, if you like. And being a 18 stone man like myself, there's quite a lot of shock. But also when they're wet, if they've got a bit of give in the soles, they grip better. If they're hard, put like a hard plastic rather than a rubber you want basically. They tend to slip. So yeah, so that's them two. I think I've lost you a bit with the rain. That's them two items that I brought with me that are new. I'm getting a bite on right hand rod. I've had a few bites, but it just hasn't materialised into anything. I'm surprised. But like I say, I fished Porth Coleman last night on the north side. We're facing on an east facing rock ledge now, and the difference in clarity, I thought the algae bloom had gone. I had a look at the back of the Coast Guard station at Aberdaron on the north side. You could see down into the water off the top of there. I'm getting a decent bite here, but I just think it's a dogfish. I'm going to let it develop a little bit. You never know, it could be a Bull Huss, you never know. Listen, we've got another session in after this one. We'll just have to see how we get on, won't we? April's the only month this year where I haven't had one, and that's the month when I started making a video trying to target them. It's typical, isn't it? So let's crack on, see if this bite materialises into anything. It is going a bit, so I'm going to hit into it and see what happens. Alright, so the bite's materialised into a dogfish. It was well and truly wrapped in my wire, so at least we're not blanking. It's only small. I thought it was a Huss, but it was just tangled in the trace. It wasn't even hooked. So, well, he might have been delicately hooked in the side fin, but it hasn't damaged him really. But it's a girl. It's actually a girl. So, cute little things, aren't they? They are cute. You can't say they're not. We're going to get her back and have another go. Some dogfish. I'll just put the last bait out on the over rig. I'll tackle the feathering rod down. I do have a few more casts with the feathers. No joy. I've just seen a few gannets fly over, so there's obviously some moving shoals of fish out there somewhere. I mean, if you persist with it, you'll probably hit them eventually. The key to mackerel feathering for me is just about persistence sometimes, especially when there's not many about, or they're just arriving, or they're just leaving. I've always known rock ledges around here, always. Even last year when there wasn't many about, I was going to say. Yeah, so I've been getting odd dodgy bite here and there, probably just dogfish. I mean, I don't know what people's opinions are of dogfish. I always base it on that if there's dogfish on a mark, there's going to be other fish. It means there's a food source of some description, so it's not necessarily a bad thing to catch a dogfish. It's not always a good thing, obviously. We do get bored of them. We're not, they can be a bit of a pest, possibly, but it is what it is. And to take a dogfish. I'm going to come back down to this mark tonight, I think, for the low tide. So yeah, if nothing else happens, we'll be down here for the night session. Last bait up in, got a doggy on, get him hooked, get him put back. It's 2 dogs. Right, we're squeezing another session in like the evening session like we went last night. It's got a simple pulley rig on. What I found last night was, I showed you the rig and it had 2 knots on it. I had to change the one, the snooze end of that rig, one with swivel on because it was twisting up, which I should have known better really. But it did the job anyway. It's got octopus and scad on that. It's got a nice whippy beach cast. Nick's going to be using this one. We brought a rod each tonight. So we'll get this cast out and hopefully something will show. 3-ounce lead. Get the upper rig. Oh, with the other rig I'm going to put a dongle rig on if I can get it to work. So we'll show you that when I baited it up. That's going to be my dongle. I've got a 4 or 3-0 circle on there, I think it is. It could be a 5-0, I'm not sure. So I bought them a long time ago. I've mounted it onto a loop. So your hook needs to be naturally flowing if you like. And then I made a dongle out of some taupe hook length material. So I'm going to bait that up. It's quite a big dongle. I'll probably put fairly thin bait on. We'll see how it goes. But I'll bait it up and I'll show you what it looks like. Right, so I've got my bait. I've cut it to size so it leaves enough for that loop out to clip into my clip to clip it down. So I've got a bit of octopus tentacles and a scad strip. So I'm just going to push it up to the hook like that. I'm going to try and bind it on with the elastic onto the dongle. I think we're about there, on the money there where we want to be. I don't know if you can see, I'm pulling it out, but I think that's on the money. So let's give it a good whip up. Bit of nervous about using this for the first time. Just, you know, to get some confidence with hooking fish and what have you. So I'm going to put some elastic around the hook, like down the bait as well, to make sure it doesn't come off in cast. But we'll see if we can hook a dogfish on it and see what it looks like, isn't it? I mean, I talked to one of my subscribers this morning, and he said he found it easier hooking dogfish. He was just testing it out like I'm doing tonight. We've gone down the bait a few times as well, and I'm just going to go back around it, make sure that's not coming off at all. So I'm led to believe you don't secure it properly, it can potentially come off. So, just try and tidy some bits in. You don't realise how big a bait you actually put on until you start measuring it against the dongle. So we're going to go with that. I think that looks pretty much what we're aiming for. So we'll go with that. I'll cast it out and see what happens. Just got a up and over rig. Got some weed around my lead. So we'll get this cast out. See how we go. I think presentation wise that's about right. So we'll see what happens. I think Nick's onto a doggy. Is it stuck? Come on. I think so. I think we've got a dogfish.
Jesus, it's proper fighting, Paul.
It's to get it stuck into. Is it snagged?
It's coming.
Has it come off?
No, it's coming.
It's come off, hasn't it? Has it? Has it come off? It's come off, hasn't it?
Yeah.
We're just warming Nick up for the taupe session. It's only, just keep nice tight pressure on it.
My arm's still in.
It's alright. In your own time, bring him in. See what we've got here after that lunk of dogfish last night. He's definitely up this one. Here he comes. He's on the circle as well, which is good. This is on the Pennel rig. But he's on the circle. Can you just spin camera around so I can show him the circle, how the circle's in? Oh, he's not on the circle. He's actually on the main hook. That's fine.
Oh, I'm out of breath.
Well, I'll set camera back now if you Nick. It's your fish. Just grab his tail. Her tail. There we go. Woof woof. Nice one, Nick. I'm going to put him back. Oh, let's do a release vid. Yeah, so that one, the pennel rig. Fully pennel rig.
It's coming back.
Right, I'm just getting a bite on the dongle rig, right hand rod. I don't know if it's going to work or not. I've had a bite earlier and it didn't hook a fish. So I'm going to let it develop and I'll just slowly lift into fish, hopefully. But we'll see, won't we? I put a nice chunky bit of scad on. So I'm hoping it does the business. I mean, look, I can see how they work, these dongle rigs and stuff. But for the type of fishing I do, it's not really suitable. You just spend too much time messing about, whipping baits on. You know, you have a 4-hour window, you'll probably spend 45 minutes to an hour of it wrapping baits on. So I probably won't be using them very much going forward, but I don't mind testing them out for dogfish just to see how they work. You know, it's easy to hook fish, etc. So we'll see if this one hooks, or if he loses interest like the last one did. The last one seemed to lose interest. We'll let it go one more time, and then we'll. It'd be brilliant just to get one, just to show how it works. In theory, anyway. I think he's gone. Well, not camera off if he comes back. We'll hopefully be reeling a fish in with it hooked nicely in the scissors. Right, that bite didn't develop into anything, so backing up now. Nick's had one dogfish. Tried dongle rig, had 2 bites and it didn't work. Maybe the material that I used on the dongle itself needs to be a bit more supple, like braid. I'll just use whatever thick stuff I had available to hand. But it failed to hook on both occasions. It's probably not for me with this fishing I do, to be honest. But it's nice to get stuff as tray. So, next bit of this video will be night fishing. So hopefully, them Bull Huss show, but we're running out of time. Right, so we're on our final session for this weekend. It's Monday night, bank holiday Monday night. We've got 3 rods out tonight. Got one with a lightweight. I'm getting a bite now as we talk. That will bite that on this rod on end. See what happens. I've got 1 rod out. Oh, it's a decent bite that. I've got 1 rod out with a lightweight pulley pennel rig on, with lug and squid on, and the rest I've got mackerel and octopus on. I'm going to have to see what this bite's doing. Hey guys, so if you keep an eye out for the live, I'll put the description in for the link in the description of the live section of this video. Any fish that I do catch, I will be putting it'll be added onto this video as we go, sort of thing. So don't just knock the video off. So let's see what happens. Just had a bite on that rod and it didn't materialise into anything yet, but I'll be changing the bait on it very shortly. So we'll see what happens. Right then guys, I've just weighed her. She weighs 817, just over 8 pound Huss. I mean, they are quite tough to handle, but mackerel head did the business. So I'm absolutely delighted with that. Get in. We've got a bucket of water here just to revive her, but I am absolutely ecstatic. Get in. Let's get a put back. Try and get another one. Right guys, I'm not really happy with that. I've had 2 other bites since then. One picked it up, I struck, I started moving it, it let go. Definitely a Huss. Same happened again, it gave a really aggressive bite on a fairly big bait on a 6-0. What I mentioned before in part 1 about using big baits, sometimes they can not get hooked as well as what you like. I've only got single 6-0s on, but I struck into it this time, I had it moving, it felt like something half decent and it let go. was shaking its head like mad. So we had 3 quick bites over the top of the tide. So now we're just waiting to see if we can get anything else. I mean, got one rod there, it's not best quality lighting really. Well, we're happy with that though. If that's all we get, that's all we get. It's still early in the season I think for Huss. There should be coming more feed in May and June, you know, really on the munch. It's just nice just to prove a point sometimes, you know. I set myself up for a massive fail, so we'll see what happens. Got another doggy guys, first one of the session. Quite deeply hooked. If you watch the live you'll see how I unhooked him, but we'll just put him back. Back he goes, straight down, no problem. So we'll put another bait out on this rod here that we just caught him on. And we'll see what happens, see if anything else happens. Tide stopped running, so hopefully another fish will show. This as well, the free bearded. Last bait upon this rod, I'm going to start tackling down now I think, call it a night. Not bad, decent fish. Right, so that's it then, job done. We only caught one, we had a few sessions at it, good go at it. I'm sure we'll catch more over the next couple of months. There's not going to be a part 4 out like that. Just wanted to prove a point that you target them like that, and if you put the time in you do catch them. It was a lovely fish last night. Only £8, but it was quite a fat, you know, short fat fish. Could have had another 2. I lost something decent, you know, either a Huss or a conger. It really did put a good fight on the rod to start with. I was winning on it, and then it just let go of the hook, so can happen. It was quite a big bait. I had octopus and mackerel on it. It was quite a big bait. I think it was too big for the 6.0, so maybe that's why, I don't know. We'll see anyway. That's what I'm putting it down to. We'll see how many we'll cut when we put taupe rigs out next time we go down onto that mark. We're going to put taupe rigs out anyway, and obviously it'll cover us for Huss and congers as well as taupe. So I'm quite happy with that. You know, we went targeting Huss, we got a Huss, only one, we don't need to be greedy. I could keep going on and on and on and emphasising it in sessions that we have. We're going to definitely see some more of them through the spring going into summer. So, and that's how we approach it. You know, what we did in part 1, followed it up in part 2, and then actually caught in part 3 is how I go about fishing for them. You saw a little subtle thing I did last night. You might not notice it because it was on live. The sound on the live wasn't very good. Turning TV up to max, it's just about, some sections of it are just about, you can just about hear them. But there were, I think I had 2 or 3 bait ups, didn't get a bite. And then I put a mackerel head on. And a mackerel head is perfect, you know, perfect size with a 6.0 through its nose. It's a nice size bait for a Huss's mouth. That's what I caught it on. So that was just a subtle change that I did. I was using wraps originally, but it's just something to bear in mind. It's an easy bait mackerel, so you don't really need to put any elastic on with it because you go straight through the nose. In fact, with this one in particular, I did actually cut a bit of the neck, if you like, and feed the hook in through the top of its skull. So kind of, I don't know, kind of like that with the head there, if you like. That'd be the hook with the head there. I don't know if that's the best way of showing you. That's how it was mounted. It was a funny take because you could see the bite on camera. I struck into it. I wound probably a couple of feet of line in, and I moved the lead, and there was nothing there. So I just stopped, held the rod, and the fish must have followed the movement of the bait. But even then, it didn't swallow the bait right down or anything. I gave it a chance to really get a good mouth hold of that, you know, so I got a good hook hold in it, and it didn't swallow it down. I was surprised. They were a bit tentative, but they were classic. You know, I don't really fish these marks at high tide usually, but I was, you know, it just suited me better to do high tide last night. And there's a slack water period over high tide. The current was hammering through as we got to the top of the tide. And from, I think low tide were at 20 past 10, and just after that, for about 45 minutes, there was no movement in any of the lines from left or right, and that's when we had the 3 bites. We had 3 bites, we caught 1 fish, lost potentially 2. I don't know what they are, I'm not going to sit here all day and go, yeah, they were definitely Huss, because I don't know if they were. They felt like Huss, so I'm assuming they are. So yeah, we're positive that going forward it's going to be positive. You know, we're going to get some good footage of some more huss on the videos, no doubt about that. I think I've covered everything there. Obviously we had some good sessions at Porthcombe. Nick had a beastly dogfish. I blanked on one of the sessions. You did you, Nick?
Yeah.
You didn't blank? You didn't blank on any of them?
Oh no.
No. I did try the dongle rig. It's not for me. That's too much messing about for you know, for the type of fishing we do. You need to be down and fishing as much as possible. You know, I've got nothing against people using the dongle rig. That's your choice, and you know, crack on. But that's just, sorry, washing machine's about to take off. It is what it is. That, you know, it might be better for fish care and all that type of thing. Fully agree with that. But sometimes on these deep water rock marks, when you've got a big swell on in the edge, you don't want to be tempted. You know, I don't want to change too much, even if it does affect fish care, because it's not good for fish reeling them in to start with, is it, on a hook? So it is what it is. I might carry on having a go with the dongle rig off the beach for dogfish if I start getting some decent hookups. If anyone wants to comment on suggest a hook, is it one of them Barivast full circles I need on, or half circle? I don't know. If you could just, if anyone sees the video and would like to comment on that, that'd be good. But other than that, keep safe, tight lines. Have a good one. I'll see you later.